Okay. All right. And we are now live. So, as I was saying, I met Annie. Oh my gosh, Annie. I want to say it was like 2 years ago, but I think we are now at a little bit over, like, it might have been like 3 years ago, right? Time just flies. So, when do you remember when you presented at 1 Million Cups? I mean, it was when they were still at the hub.
That feels like a while ago. Like I don't even know, like maybe even 5 years ago or something. I feel
All right, so like 2 years ago, pretty close. A few years ago, I met Annie at a networking event, and I really liked Annie's idea about how she was marketing herself and what she was doing, like as far as marketing and showcasing other businesses and things that were going on in El Paso. So I started working directly with Annie about that time. I think I reached out to you shortly after when I think I introduced myself at 1 Million Cups, and then I was like, I'm gonna work with you. I love your vibe. I love what you're doing, and she does have the marketing game down really well, and I love what you're doing with your account. Now, fast forward to COVID times. There was times when I would literally go just into Annie's account to see which restaurants were open and which restaurants had like family specials. And she was always booking them. And I was like, listen, I don't know what's open. I don't know what's out there. I'm not going out. I'm just in my office. And that was like a wonderful thing that you did for the community. So thank you for helping out like other local businesses. I don't think that you yet know the that you grasp like the help, the how much help you're giving us, like by giving us a platform where people who don't know us get to know a little bit about us. um, but I'm gonna let Annie introduce herself further than that. So tell us a little bit about your Annie's adventures, how you got started.
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me here today. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. I love Hippie Girl, and everything you do is awesome. And helping empower women and empower entrepreneurs and so forth. So Annie's Adventures, I started Annie's Adventures 8 years ago. Um, I just kind of found a niche. I was trying to move. I moved to El Paso, like it's almost been 15 years ago now. 2006 is crazy, a while back. Like everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna move back 2 3 years and then I'm gonna head out again, right? Like everybody said that, but we end up here. So if you can relate, you know what I'm talking about. So I've been here and I was working at El Paso Saddle Blanket. And then I started working at El Paso Inc. and What's Up Weekly. And you know, it was 8 years ago. Like nobody wanted to be here, nobody enjoyed it here. I worked at El Paso Saddle Blanket. I was the jewelry girl, and I would talk to everybody, locals, out of towners, military, everybody. How do you like El Paso? Blah blah blah. This place sucks. There's nothing to do here. It's a dark pit of nothingness. It's just the brown trash can. Like I've heard it all. It's El Paso and it's freaking awesome. You just have to know what to do, where to find it, right? So that's what I try to create, was a page where people can go. There are pages out there. There are awesome pages out there. City pages and other pages where they kind of tell you what to do. But on Annie's Adventures, I like to show you what to do. So I can tell you, hey, go check out this local event and this is what it's like. Or I'm going to this restaurant and this is what the menu's like. This is what you can order. This is what the food looks like. Do this with your kids.
Hiking trails.
Yeah, anything. It's like Angie's List, but for El Paso, whether you're looking for something to do with your kids, something to do with your family. I've had, spouses, well, people contact me who are in the military and wanting to do something special for their spouse who is on coming back from deployment or about to go, or they're wanting help on like ideas on how to propose and things like that. So I've helped people on all kinds of different levels. Even with GoPro, when they came into El Paso and was looking at it, I took them on like a fun adventure. And so I'm always just trying to show how fun El Paso is. The main goal of Annie's Adventure is to promote El Paso local businesses and the surrounding area. And I take you guys on a fun trip or a few with me. In March, I try to do Baller on a Budget month. I show people how to live and do everything on a budget. Like the travel that I do, everybody can do it. I get my stuff on Groupon, and like it's, you know, tested, because it sounds too good to believe, but I tested it for you guys. It's true. And it's all the recommendations that I want to pass on to you guys to check it out, whether again it's El Paso, you're traveling, or whatever it is you're looking for. And primarily it's to help small businesses grow. That's where my passion is. I also work at Leo Marketing. It's a local full service marketing agency here in El Paso, Texas. So if you know any business needs help with brokering deals for TV, radio, billboard, print, OTT, I help them at no cost to them for my help to negotiate those deals. We also help with social media, websites, video production, graphic design, photography, SEO, Google branding, like everything and anything. I can help everybody in the marketing and advertising area. And working at Leo Marketing, it helps me help businesses even more, if that makes sense. That's in a nutshell kind of what I do.
I think that's awesome. And I think another thing to that, there's a lot of attention, is she does these scavenger hunts, and the scavenger hunts are actually promoting other local businesses, and she has people go find them in cool spots that are from El Paso. So I love that approach, and I also love that because you're right, like we're so used to saying like El Paso sucks, there's nothing going on, and it's just from your point of view that El Paso is actually beautiful. There's so many cool things to do, and the fact that you're highlighting that, I think, is really helpful, like to this, not just to the city, but to the surrounding people, to understand that we do have cool stuff going on. You just haven't done it. Like you're just not getting out there. You're just not living outside of that tiny bubble of places that you go to, because there's a lot of cool things to do in El Paso. And I believe that like all your marketing experience has brought you here because you have a huge following on social media. Um, do you use mostly Instagram for your Annie's adventures?
So I started with Facebook. My Facebook is larger. Instagram, I post to both daily. It's very important, and we'll get into that, you know, how often you post to social media and so forth. So I do use Facebook and Instagram. Prior to COVID, I was using Instagram mostly for just the food posts. I'm a Bettis, I'm my dad's daughter. I look for a deal. So that's one thing that Annie's Adventures is about. And we love to eat, like my dad's daughter through and through. We love to eat. So food, I always try to put that on Instagram because that's kind of how Instagram was, right? But you know, as time goes on, the social media platforms evolve themselves and in the ways that the tools they're offering. And it's all a big chess game, and you have to play that game better than any like the other people out there, right? So I just try to evolve with it. And Annie's, you know, again with the scavenger hunts, that kind of took off, and so I was posting it on Instagram too. And now it's just kind of it's turned into a blend of everything. So I post to both because, you know, some people consume more content on one than the other, and or you know, whatever it is. But primarily Facebook and Instagram is where I'm at. I post a little to LinkedIn. I've slack at that. And Twitter, you know, I don't really do anything on Twitter. El Paso doesn't really seem to be a Twitter town like everywhere else in the world. You know what I mean? El Paso, like we like
It's
Facebook.
so small. The Twitter community is so small.
Yeah, and we like to talk here, you know, like we want to see pictures and talk about whatever. So we like Facebook and Instagram, and of course, what is it? TikTok is growing everywhere. So I definitely recommend TikTok and experimenting on that, and you know, trying to do what you can on that. But you know, that's where my audience is, and what we're going to talk about is, you know, being where the audience is, be where the attention is. And
Yeah, so let's get right into the book. Like let's talk about all this personal branding and how important it is.
awesome. Okay. So how do you want to start this, Michelle?
So let's do a quick review of the book, and then if anybody wants to participate and describe their experience with relation to like the book, then we'll add that on. If not, we'll just kind of keep going and see. Hopefully, everyone can participate. I know some of you are running errands and kind of getting other things done. So as you're listening, if you hear a question and you want to chime in, like please do. This is like an open platform. It's a discussion. If you just want to listen, that's fine. But we encourage you to talk to us. But if not, don't worry, girl. I'm here. I'm talking to you.
And so everybody's different. Everyone consumes content differently. For me, I listen to the book. I'm out and about all the time too, and so it really helps me while I'm multitasking, just consuming that content that way. So I don't know. I know you do chapter breakdowns and things like that. We can talk about that, but I also just kind of made notes from
Sure.
just listening, and I was just thinking, I can make some notes. If you guys have questions, let's touch on those. And then my recommendations, and also you guys are business owners. Let me know about you guys are on or whatever, like utilize this time with me, Annie's Adventures. I'm here to help and support local businesses grow. That's what I'm here to do. So whether it's during this discussion or outside, reach out to me. Annie's Adventures, Facebook and Instagram. I'm here to help. If that's okay, does that sound okay to you, Michelle? Just kind of like discussion kind of thing.
That sounds great, Annie.
Cool. So let's see here. I know, so it's 2 sections. Chapter 1 was Get Pumped, and just 1 through 5. The 1 was The Path Is All Yours. 2 was What Still Matters. 3 was The 8th Essential, Content is King.
Okay, I think we lost Annie for a little bit, so I'll continue with the discussion. So within the first chapter, it talks about how important it is to start with like personal branding of yourself within like a media platform. And so it says that it doesn't matter like what place you're at, like as far as like your business or how much you know. Annie, are you back? Can you hear me, Annie?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I think you were
Yeah,
cutting
I
off.
can hear you.
Lost
Kind
you.
of broken. I'm listening.
Okay, my bad. So it talks about how important it is like to do the personal branding and to start like whatever your hobby is, to start promoting it on social media platforms. And it talks about like you never know when you're going to lose your job, or like how the pandemic hit. For me, like it made sense. Like I was glad that, like, let's say for example, the pandemic hit my spa business hard, but luckily because I had the natural products, I was able to transition from earning income from one business to another. Although my other business, which was the natural products, was just starting, the fact that I had already started some sort of marketing gave me a huge leverage. And I can tell you that I got by until we were able to reopen in June. So from March to June, I got by on just selling sanitizers from having established my brand from before. I didn't have a website prior to COVID. I didn't have such a large following on Instagram. I think my following was maybe like 5,000. I think I hit 5,000 sometimes during COVID, and now I'm like at 8,000. So I'm close to 9,000, and these are natural followings. I've never paid for followers, but it's true. The more content that you put out there, as far as like what you're doing, people start kind of like associating you with what it is that you're doing, with whatever hobby it is that you're doing, and it's a good way to start marketing yourself. And Annie, are you back?
I
I
think
think
so.
that's, yeah. Okay, awesome. So take over anytime, ma'am.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything. Like
Okay. No,
nothing.
so I was just describing chapter one and how it goes into like the importance of personal branding and how to brand your business no matter at what stage you're at. So I was
Yeah,
talking about how that kind of helped me during COVID, where unexpected circumstances happen and one business picks up more than the other, right? For me, it was being able to pay my bills through using the hand sanitizers on a page where I didn't really have a large following. I didn't have a website. I didn't have anything else to collaborate. But because I had been promoting Hippie Girl to a certain extent, it was able to pick up as far as like business, and now it's a business standing on its own. So that wouldn't have been possible had I not started before it was needed. And that's what Gary Vee starts telling you, like whether you need it or not, whether it's like a small hobby, people start associating you with what you're doing. So the more content that you put out there, even if you're a beginner, it doesn't matter because people don't want to just listen to like professionals. Like they want to listen to what you have to say. And the more that you talk about it, the more educated you become on it. Like the more you even talk about like the process of what you're doing, then people start kind of paying attention and following you. And it seems like you turn into an overnight sensation, like you don't, but it starts that track to get there.
right. It's all a process. You're basically branding yourself as the expert in your field, right? And you're just like everyone else out there. So you're more relatable to these people than, a star or an expert or a doctor or whatever these other boring people are that everybody, you know what I mean? They want something different. They want you and your fresh take on it. So what you have and what you think is valuable, whether you think it is or not, it is. There are other people out there who think just like you. If we have a question, someone else has that question. So definitely it's never too late to start. Okay. COVID, prime example, like you were saying, a lot of people have opened businesses during COVID. It's coming in a situation, right? It was you saw there was a need and you adapted, overcame, and you provided the service at the time, right? And something blossomed out of that. That's awesome. And that you products out there. Is that correct, Michelle?
Sorry, Annie, you're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry, I had to get a jacket. Can you hear me? Can you sing?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So basically you want to put yourself, what I've done is adventure. People know me just as Annie, and they know I'm in marketing.
Okay. So the message it's giving us is that Annie's network bandwidth is low. So I'm gonna give her a few minutes to kind of find a better place where I don't know if it's because she's moving, it's not getting the signal. But so it starts talking about
Like,
go ahead, Annie. Are you back?
yourself, I had, my hope is that when anybody thinks marketing or marketing, they think of they'll go and she's about like marketing tips in my stories and stuff. That's to remind people that I'm in the marketing world and I can help you with whatever marketing services you need. So I'm branding myself as that expert. Does that make sense?
Right. And so it's telling you, even as boring as you
Yeah,
think your idea might be, or as not it's like people think, oh, they're not going to watch that, but he starts talking about how when there's people who have like millions of views who are talking about how to do a garage sale or like how to open a can. So sometimes it's like how to use a toy. So you think, okay, people are not going to watch this, but there's a lot of viewership out there and you kind of have to find your niche market. And so it starts talking to you about like which platforms and how to use them depending on what type of business you have. And the first platform, so it goes into here on like like it talks about like what's stopping you, um, what's like stopping you. And so a lot of the times like it's like the only thing you need is like yourself, like you just need a phone. And a lot of people think like, well, I have to have the lighting perfect and I have to speak perfect and I have to be like at this level. And so she's telling you like, no, you don't have to be at that level. And regardless of where you're at, like you need to start because it just takes off suddenly. And one of the first stories that it talks about is about a teacher that was selling paintings, which Lorena actually took up painting during COVID, and she is now becoming a painting instructor. And so this is really cool, right? And now she's doing like like I painted that classes, and we don't know like where life is going to take us, but when you're marketing yourself, even if it's just a hobby, like all hobbies can eventually turn into like a business.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So you could turn your hobby into business, your true passion. I really do enjoy marketing. Like I'm a total nerd for it. I will go off in tangents. Like I will sit there with a business and talk about it till the sun goes down. And I've been lucky enough to build you know, a career off of it so far. That's what I do for a living. I'm freelance in marketing. And so Lorena, being able to take your passion painting and then turning it into something that you're starting to make money on, that's awesome. That's what we're all trying to do, right? So kudos to you for doing the work. That's what it is. It's doing the work. Okay. Because we all want to do this. We all say we want to do this. We want to do that. When we were kids, we're going to be rich and be millionaires by whatever age. Like I'm already supposed to be a millionaire, right?
Right.
If I'm
I was supposed to be retired by now.
yeah. So we have to do the work, and I'm completely in a place where I am comfortable with where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like I live comfortably, I get to travel, and you can take this wherever you want it to go, right? I like a work play balance, okay, because I'm all about adventures too. So I want to go travel and I want to do that. So I'm completely comfortable at where the level I am. But if I really wanted to do even more, I can just kick it up a notch and keep feeding that funnel. And that's the same for everybody. Like you were saying, you just have to start. You just have to start doing the work. And there's a process. We can't just wake up one day and assume like, oh, okay, we started the page a week ago and now everybody's going to know us. No, it's a daily grind, and it's going to take years. It's like you have to manage your expectations. That's one of my notes here. Be patient, be practical, and be passionate about what you want. You have to be passionate about it in order for other people to believe you, right? To sell whatever it is that you're selling. We're all selling something. I don't care what your business is, who you are. I don't care. You're trying to get that information to someone else. That means you're selling your information to someone else. So we all need to be on these social media platforms. That's where the attention is nowadays. And so that's where we should be, and if we're not on Facebook, especially, we're kind of just missing that boat there. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Michelle?
Yes, well, I like how he does mention that, to have good expectations and at the point where you become like an entrepreneur, sometimes it's necessary to cut out unnecessary expectation, like of being like a first year entrepreneur and having like a really nice fancy schmancy car or having like a huge house. And so sometimes you have to learn to cut back expenses because you have to go back to scale down to be able to grow, because it obviously, like, how are you need to put everything back into the business,
That's
and
it.
it will return, but you have to be able to put in, because if you're just scrapping the business and you're just giving it barely enough, then that's what you're gonna expect from your entrepreneurship. Like, it's just going to be enough. But when you're
Mhm.
giving it your all, that's when it starts, that's when you can like start to grow.
100%. And it's super important to keep putting back into the business, like you just said. If you want it to grow, you have to keep putting back into it, and it's going to take time. But that's just part of the grind, and that's what you have to know going in, whether, because you got to be in it for the long game. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And yeah, if you just want the fancy watches or cars and stuff like that, like, that's a short game, you know what I mean? That will come in time. um but yeah, you're completely right. You want to keep putting back into the business. Think What I like to tell people, think of Facebook as your own TV station, right? It's the first thing and last thing people do to start their day and end their day here in the city, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. Use it as your own TV station. Okay. You're the expert in your field. And so all the content that you're putting out, you're branding yourself as the expert in your field. So that way you're building that top mind awareness. So whenever they do need your service, they think of you and they come to you and utilize your service and buy your products. But if you think of Facebook, just for example, as your largest TV station, traditional marketing, TV, radio, billboard, print, right? There's a time and a place. El Paso is not like anywhere else out there. Like, what will work in marketing in Austin or Chicago or New York or Cali is not going to work in El Paso. Okay. Like, we don't plan in advance. It's what, Wednesday? Most of us don't know what we're doing for dinner tonight, much less this weekend. Okay. So we don't plan on things. We're on manana time. And so you have to be aware of that, be aware of your markets, and who you're talking to and how to push your content also. But if you do TV, the TV and print, you have to be in monthly, because once you're off, they forget about you, right? So when you're on TV, a good recommended minimum budget per month per station is $2,500 per month per station. Okay. Where on radio, we like recommend doing radio a week or two leading to an event or a promotion. That's a minimum budget of $1,500 per station per month. Okay. For OTT, we can get businesses in front of people who watch, their TV shows on apps or Roku, Fire Stick, Amazon, what is it, Xbox, PlayStation, all those things. It's called OTT. It's a big nerdy term that doesn't mean anything. It means over the top. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that we can get your ad in front of those people who watch through those services. That's a recommended minimum budget of $1,800 per month. Okay. Where on social media like Facebook, we can run a commercial, a TV video, like a live feed we made, and turn that into a commercial or a paid post for a recommended recommended budget of $50 minimum per 24 hours, right? And social media is the most direct form of targeting and the most inexpensive form of marketing out there. So again, when I say think of Facebook as your largest TV station, like, you have your own station, like, utilize that. We can target people who are only looking for your services, age demographic, income level, military, non-military. Like, there's no other form of marketing that can do that very specific thing. If we go onto TV, radio, billboard, print, we're basically tossing our hat into the ring and hoping the small percentage of people that need our service will see it and then utilize it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so social media definitely provides us the advantage of having a far more advanced target, right? And the first media that it talks about here in the book is actually Musically, which is now TikTok, right? That was 2 years ago, it was Musically, or because this book was written in 2018. So 3 years ago,
Mhm.
it was Musically, but now the big sensation is TikTok, and it tells you if you're more like of an entertainer, then definitely TikTok is where you should be at. But with our experience
Mhm.
with TikTok, there's a lot of experts there now. It's not just like some teenagers dancing and showing you dance moves. There's a lot of experts that you can actually visit on TikTok that show you quick videos of how to do things. So I guess you do have to be entertaining because you don't have as much time as, like, let's say, like in a YouTube video, but you have you have less seconds, but you can still get your point across, and you don't have to dance. I mean, if you dance, I mean, that's great, but that intimidates a lot of people, and so they want what it's telling you is like, you don't have to dance. You can. Annie and I were actually researching videos for Hippie Girl that didn't involve me dancing. So when we did these videos for TikTok, I actually did get a great response. So it was, I can tell you that using the TikToks, like, it's good because those videos can be posted on Instagram, which are now the Reels, right? The Reels on
Right.
Instagram. And so you get a lot of viewership. So it's staying on top of like what these new media sensations are. But it definitely talks about TikTok, but it describes it as Musically. Do you have any input as far as like the TikTok videos?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up there.
Oh, okay. No, I just said if you have any input as far as like the using the platform TikTok for marketing. Okay. So after that, I'm gonna go to
Hey, Michelle.
yes.
Hey, it's Heather. How are
Hi,
you?
Heather. Good. I'm so glad to see you chime in.
So glad to see you. You know what, Michelle? I had, before we move into that, because so you know that I've been on my little adventure of starting my
Yes.
own company, and I'm getting ready to launch it. You know, make the big announcement pretty
Uh-huh.
soon. But you know, just exactly what you guys were talking about. That's what I struggle with the most right now. You know, I work a full-time job that requires my attention 24/7. You know, and I've done somewhat of a share of, you know, trying to market myself and Zeus. You know, my pup, he's always with me. So I want people to recognize us that, like the personal branding. Um, but what do you have as a suggestion to try and find balance? Because I think that's the hardest thing I'm having with right now is trying to get the company started while still trying to manage my day-to-day job, which eventually I'm gonna, you know, move forward from, right? But what are your thoughts on that?
So the book does talk about a story on this, but it talks about some people that were parents. And so it says they did have to find a balance of like turning down certain like social gatherings or things that, like, sometimes like they were invited to do things and they couldn't do it because they had a baby, right? And in essence, you
Right.
have a baby because you have your job. But
Right.
one of the things that have that I do when, because I can't market all day every day, but what I do is I schedule it in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work from 10 to 2. I'm gonna work on just making videos. And so what I do is I'll make videos in different areas of the house and with different outfits so that I have content, and then now I'm posting that content throughout the week instead of not posting anything because I didn't have anything to do Thursday. So now on Thursday, like, let's say I did my content on Sunday, now on Thursday I have pictures and I have I have other things that I contributed to my marketing, and it doesn't look like it's the same day because it's either in a different part of my house or it's me wearing a different outfit, but it really is the same day. So I would tell you that might work. Like, give yourself like 3 hours one day a week to kind of work on that. And even if you can just make 2 or 3 videos, like that's a good start. I mean, that's a great start. And you're still in the vibe because you're like marketing and you're putting the phone and you have your hair done. Because like for me, it's like I don't always do my hair, I don't always have like my makeup on point, but for the videos I want to show that image. So that's why I get ready, and that's what Annie and I were doing, and we were doing them all on Tuesdays, and I would change, and we would go outside, and we would do some inside, and then I would post them like throughout the week.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
You can also schedule your posts too. So you can go on Facebook and schedule them. If you connect your Facebook and Instagram together, it'll post at the same time, to help eliminate having to post to multiple platforms at the same time, the same content or whatever. You can also clip your content. So like just give a little nugget on one platform and then where it's all kind of connected, so they have to go to the others to get it. There's like all kinds of ways that you can strategize it. For me, I spend a couple of hours a day. Like I'll spend like an hour in the morning, an hour or two in the evening, just kind of going through and doing research, also checking out, just going through and whether it's, for me, I don't really look at competitors and be like, oh, they're competitors, I have to do better. I don't even think about them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like I just try to do me and focus on me and do that. And so I'm on trying to find different activities and events and different local businesses to share and inform people about. So depending on what your business is, check out and see what everybody else is doing, see what the corporate people are doing, see what local people are doing, and see how you could do it better, right? And put your own twist on it. But yeah, you can, just like Michelle says, schedule it in, because it is important. Honestly and truthfully, every business should be posting at least once a day on every single platform, at least once, including stories, right? Stories for me are big. Like I'll get, 400 views on a story per day, which I don't get that many views on my page, right? And so my stories help lead new people to my page to like my page. So I'll get follows all day long, like all throughout the day, because they're coming to me from my stories or my different posts that I'm doing. So it is important to be active. Plus there's this big thing. It's another nerdy thing. It's again, just a big thing in the background that nobody really knows, called Google 200. There's over 200 things we can do as a business to maximize ourselves online. So Google is working with everything, right? How active we're how active are we on social media? How many links do we have? So like hashtags are super important. You want to use those hashtags. If you have a website, you want to include your web link, because that's all talking together, all helping with your Google SEO, which is basically another nerdy term that means search engine optimization, which is a nerdy term that just means your placement on Google, right? And so all these things that you do, they work together to help that, because Google runs the world. So we want to be top, we want to be on top there. So when people are searching for us, but then again, we can play with Google ads. I never recommend giving money directly to Yelp or Google. Either you learn to do the ads yourself or hire someone like me. We have a flat monthly fee where we manage your all's page, and then we run the ads for you, the successful ads for you, that we do for all of our clients. Like we know how to do all that stuff. Or again, teach yourself how to do that. The University of YouTube. I didn't go to college. I went to the University of YouTube. I figure out all this stuff. Again, it's just doing the grind. It's doing the work behind it, and like follow, like Googling or YouTubing, how do you run a Facebook ad, and like, I don't recommend boost posts. Those are mostly talking to your current followers. It does pull in new people, but I'm trying to constantly pull in new people. So we set up our posts a different way. We set it up on the back end, which opens more doors on our targeting. And the goal is mostly to pull in new people. You will talk to more of your current people, but it's strictly to pull in new people to like our page. So there's like different ways to play the game, right? And so people who say, oh, Facebook doesn't work, no, bro, it's just you don't know how to work it, right? Just like when people say, oh, El Paso's boring, no, it's just you're boring. Like it's there, you know, it's all excuses. There's zero excuses. It's just doing the actual work and finding out how to work it. So yeah, definitely make time to plan and schedule, or even like like a list out of like, it's really good for me. I have to write everything down and like plan it out. So to organize it, you know, like, oh, let's talk about this. Or you can have like one piece of thing and make one general video and then dissect that, you know what I mean? And turn that into like multiple pieces of content. Does that make sense?
I think what you can do, Heather, and what I would do in your business is also like target, like, okay, today, this Sunday I'm gonna work 3 hours, right? And on marketing, and those 3 hours do like a full body workout, like in each video, like a different part of the body, or like, okay, today we're gonna work out and we're gonna do legs. And so then you teach people how to do legs and kind of show like because she does workout videos with her
Okay.
husband.
Oh, cool.
So that might be
Oh,
like a good idea to do too. Like, let's say, okay, this week I'm gonna do arms, and you do several videos showing arms, because then you can go back and post that same video like a month later or 2 months later, because you already have the arms. And so now you can target, like, as you're building like your portfolio of like, okay, this is arms, this is legs, this is abs, this is full body, then now you can keep cycling them. And sometimes you can use the same video later on. So like sometimes I'll take pictures of my soaps, but if I know that I'm gonna be able to sell that soap later, then what I do is I'll just go through my phone and I'm like, okay, like I know I have a picture of the coffee soaps already. And then I'll go back and I'll post it because I know that I don't have content this week. So that
just
can,
stock footage.
because you're already built your portfolio. So you just post what you posted before.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
almost having already a library, and then from your library, you just pull and post. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
It's like stock footage.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes a
you have
lot of sense.
Yeah, it starts
Awesome.
cutting off time once you start building that portfolio. It really does. And so I think that that would be like a good definitely like a good avenue for you to try out.
I think too, Heather, like there's all kinds of fun things that you guys can do. Like, I mean, you can literally break it down by the muscle, you know what I mean? And all those trouble areas that women like, you know, the wing area, or the, you know, like inner thighs, like you can break it down by the muscle, not just, you know, like you could be more specific, or you could do like what I like to recommend to clients is ask an expert. So maybe one segment a week, it's like a little discussion, a sit down kind of thing with you and your husband, whatever you prefer. And it's like, okay, today we're going to talk about, or an open discussion, you know, like, hey, what is your problem areas? And you're getting them involved in like, okay, let me show you some things that would help with this, you know. But ask the experts of like, hey, so you might hear this, is it true or false? But it's actually this, you know. There's like all kinds of different things that you could do to get people engaged, because we really want to try and get them engaged. But even meal plans, because it's not only is it important to work out, but in order to maintain that, you have to eat right. So you could even incorporate some things like that.
So your eating choices do definitely go, whether it's for you and your dog. But like, let's say you have a good meal that time, you could take what I've done as well. And this is more like I've done it when I've promoted like my friends' businesses, like and I'm gonna use an example. I use Craze. I like to promote Craze. They sell yogurt. And so what I'll do is I'll take one picture of me pouring like the yogurt, and then the next picture will be of like my actual yogurt cup. And so now I have, even though I just went to Craze once, I now have two different pictures that don't look like they're on the same day. And so now you have content for 2 times, right? And so you can do it like when you have a healthy meal, you can either like take a picture of like don't post everything on the same day. So you take several pictures and then now you have content for later. Like even though I didn't go eat praise today, like I still posted the picture of like my yogurt. So I actually got a message, Annie, and there's somebody on our chat that works with solar, and they want to know which way you would guide them for marketing. And this person's fairly new to marketing. They're very shy. They're very introvert, but they definitely are go-getters. And they just want, I think they need guidance. And so they're asking, what would Annie charge? And I guess that depends on basically what you need, right? But Annie doesn't do the marketing for you. Like she guides you so that you can do the marketing more in so for yourself. Even though she does promote like within her page, I think a lot of what is to be learned here on the book is that the content has to be you. Like you do have to come out and give yourself like that opportunity to market because they want to see you like you're the expert. And Annie's your teacher, so she's just gonna push you like, okay, you gotta go that way, come on. And then we have to kind of do it ourselves. But this person does solar, so I think a good idea would be like record when you're marketing, record when you're on your way, record when you're training, record the little things that you think don't matter, even if they're indirectly, and you don't have to do selfies. But if you're posting on like your job, then people start associating you with what you're doing, and then you become an expert. Because then when they have questions or when they hear somebody say something like, oh, I want to go solar, and they're like, oh, you know what, I have a friend and he knows a lot and he's always posting videos, you should follow him on Instagram and ask him what's going on. And so now you're marketable and you're referable because you have the content there, and so now they can associate you with what you're doing, right? And so this platform
Right.
doesn't matter because it talks about using like Snapchat, it talks about using Musically, it talks about using Instagram or Facebook. It talks about like using podcasts and YouTube. And so it doesn't matter what platform you're comfortable with, or how much of yourself you actually want to show. As long as you're showing something, it's okay. Like there's people that cut soap on YouTube. You never see their face. Like they're literally just cutting soaps and you just see their hands cutting soaps and they never show their face. So I know that this person is an introvert. Um, and I know that they're still putting that content out there, even though they're not directly showing their face and all that. So you don't have to show your face, you don't have to talk, and it tells you about which avenues to take, even if you're shy, like where you can start.
Yeah. So you're 100% right. I would break everything down, like installation of a solar panel. You know what I mean? A before and after picture. You can take a picture with a happy customer. You know, you can take a picture of your truck with your logo heading to the place, or a picture of the roof, or a picture of wherever it is that you're going to place the solar panel, you know. And just to get back real quick to your original question, to the gentleman who asked, so at Leo Marketing, we can help you do those services for you. If you're just too busy and you don't have time, we can help you do those services. With Annie's Adventures, businesses hire me to come out and do a larger write-up, and you get a live feed and a picture post on Annie's Adventures page. But basically that's me, like if I'm at a restaurant, I'm taking pictures of the food, or I'm interviewing the owner of whatever business, and we're promoting your business on my page, right? If you want me to do like a consultation kind of thing, I can help you with that too. So there's all the different kinds of ways that I'm here to help you guys. But it is important for you to know how to play the game too. Okay, whether you use us or someone else, I want you guys to know how to play the game. And it is important that you play. And again, it doesn't matter what platform that you're comfortable with. If you could do as many as possible, even better for you. But like for me, check out Annie's Adventures. Most of my videos, I'm behind the camera. You don't ever see me. You never really see me. You know, I do a sporadic like selfie or something like that. Just so people know, like, hey, what's up? It's me, I'm Annie, you know, kind of thing. But like nobody cares who I am. Like that's how I think. Like people want to know about the business that I'm there to promote and stuff like that. So I'm always behind the scenes. It's just my voice that you mostly hear. So if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, if you're shy, I do recommend testing it, okay? Because honestly, like it's just a personal block that we have, because I'm weird and I feel weird in front of a camera as well. But doing these videos on my page over time, I've gotten more comfortable. I don't even think about it. I just think of I'm talking in front of a rectangle. You know what I mean? So you have to do the things you're uncomfortable with in order to not be comfortable, right? Just like starting a business is uncomfortable, but you're doing it. You're getting you have to be willing to get outside your comfort zone, right? So if you can do live feeds, great. And you don't have to be in front of them, but do them because they're extremely important. You know, I don't know if you guys know there's an organic reach on social media. Your organic reach is what who you're talking to without putting money behind your post. Our organic reach on social media is 1% or less of our current followers are seeing what we post. Okay. So that's why I post a few times daily on my page because I never know who's seeing what. Don't get that idea that, oh, I don't want to post so many times because I don't want to bore them. I don't want to tick them off. I don't want them to unfollow. Like, don't even think like that. They're not even seeing it. You know what I mean? It's a very minute percent of your current followers that will see it organically. And that's the game, you know. Social media knows, Facebook knows they want you to do those paid posts in order to get more viewership. That's part of the game, you know. And why they want you to pay because
Annie, we can't hear you. You sound muffled.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
No, it sounds like muffled.
I don't know.
Change? Something on your audio just changed. I don't know what it is.
Let me untap. Hold on.
Okay. So back to no. So what she was saying, yes, definitely make sure that you're putting yourself out there. And you don't have to put yourself directly because even though like you can pay somebody like to help you run your marketing, it's such a huge budget, like what she was saying, like to get on like TV and all that. It's such a huge budget that it cuts a lot into like your earnings. You have to do it, like you have to put in the work, and you don't need pictures of yourself, you need pictures of your work. So don't be think creatively of how can I get my job out without actually putting my word out there. Like, well, there's boomerangs. I know you use Instagram, so you can use a boomerang to put the company name, like a business card, like a pencil. I don't know, anything that has like the company business name, like so that it starts associating you, like when you're on your way to a job, when you're on your way, like if you just completed a sale, or you know, I don't know. There's a lot of ways that you can promote yourself indirectly without actually putting yourself in front of the camera. I'm not sure if Trish is here or if she's running errands, but
I'm here.
hey, hello, ma'am. So
Hello.
Trish actually does a great, she has a great business which helps people get organized. I have needed Trish so much, and she has helped me out a lot this year. And we were also talking about Trish putting her like on her Instagram, like the before and after pictures, and associating her with like being like an organizer, because I feel that people need her services a lot, but if they don't see it, they're not they don't think about it, or they're like, oh my gosh, I have such a mess. But I got on Instagram, and most people, even though they have shit to do, and this is very true, they'll still get on their phones, and like I see the disorganization of like my receipts. But if I can if I go and I see that, oh my gosh, like I just saw Trish, let me call Trish and she can help me get like my books organized, or she can help me get my office organized, because I'm a total entrepreneur and my office is clean, but sorry, my building is clean, but my office is always a ruckus. And there's times when it really does get out of hand. And I I appreciate Trish because we have such a great relationship that she knows when I need her because I don't call her. And so then I'm like, okay, so she comes to me, but we also have to think of ways like that other people can reach out to you. And this is where like a lot of like the marketing goes, like put yourself out there all the time, talk about organizing. Like you think you're boring people to death, but you're really not, right, Annie? Like she said, such a small percentage is actually watching.
It's top mind awareness. So that way when they need you, they think about you. You're the first one. Just think like car dealerships. You can list 3 of them off the top of your head. Or fast food restaurants, right? Because it's top mind awareness. They drill it into us so much, so when we need it, we know where to go to. And that's all it is, 100%. You just have to do the work and don't overthink it, like just get the information out there. Like you don't need to spend days on one post, you know what I mean? Like you just need to get the information out there. Also, I want to tell you guys, if you're going to try a new strategy, at least give it, 3 months to see if it's really working for you before you decide that it doesn't work. Like I said, social media does work. You just may not know how to use it, okay? Because there is a proper way to use these tools. And like I said, you can just Google it or YouTube it and you can find that information, or you can contact me and I'll help you with that. But it is important that you do that. It is also super important to use social media influencers nowadays, like I didn't even know I was a social media influencer until I didn't know I was a foodie until I started this page. So you want to be where the attention is. For example, on Annie's Adventures on Facebook and Instagram, I have a combined following of just over 20,000 followers who are all genuinely interested in going local and promoting local, right? So if that's where you feel like you want to be in front of the audience, use the audience. If there's another one, like, we have other foodie blogs, foodie pages here, we have fashion, social media influencers, we have all different types. And it's super important to use them to help grow your audience. Partnerships, whether it's teaming up to do a giveaway together, or like I just partnered up with Sand Carving by C Creations to do that last scavenger hunt that I did. And we promoted her business and all the posts on top of all the different market vendors that she vends with at like the Upper Valley Market or the Country Club Market. So when you do those collaborations, it just helps spread word about your business. So I recommend trying to do that as often as you guys can as well. Like you can, like Heather, for example, you can bring in another fitness person, guru who has another platform, and you guys do a 3-minute workout together. You know what I mean? Or you guys do Mondays, 3-minute workout every, segment or whatever it is. And you just it's scratching backs, right? You're helping each other out, or you're utilizing them to help your business out, whatever way. But definitely use them if you can.
Yes, so definitely collaborations are important, and because you're reaching not just to your audience, but to the other person's audience. And once again, it starts getting your name out there. I think Eric is in here with us. Hello, Eric, and welcome to the discussion. I'm happy to see you here. And Eric, Eric works with artists, and I think that this topic becomes important because you're right. Like they have to keep marketing themselves. They have to do collaborations. They have stuff to do like that, and a lot of the times, like it's also finding like the platform that's going to work for you. Like a lot of people in El Paso, like we said, they don't use Twitter, but Twitter is well known throughout actually the world. Actually,
It's weird.
It's just an El Paso thing, but you can use Twitter to market depending on what you're marketing. And so one of the topics that it covers here is like Twitter and who Twitter is good for. And so it tells you like, okay, if you're on like Musically, which is TikTok, if you're on Snapchat, and it tells you like these platforms are actually extremely useful and it's all free. So you don't have to make it like a commercial, like, hi, this is Hippie Girl and this is my soap. Like, no, they want to see pictures of me like shopping for the oils or getting like a shipment of oils or like putting the oils together or like blending the colors and unmolding the soaps. Like those become more of like the business and advertising than if I was to actually just take a picture of the soap and put these are $8. So now I have to create content, and I know that every time that we're gonna do the soap unveiling, I have to go on live to cut the soaps because that sells my soaps a lot more than my pictures of a soap. So sometimes it's the process that leads up to the sale, not so much the final process. So let's take, for example, what we said here, like with the other member that does the solar. Like if you're just putting pictures of solar panels, that's not what people want to see. Like they want to see what your knowledge is in going into solar panels. Like, you know, like actually working for it and doing the process of it is far more important than that. And it does talk about that in the book about how somebody started posting like their progress of their business, and that became like far more popular. That made them more popular than, like I said, if they're just posting like, hey, I'm selling soaps, buy my soap. I'm selling soaps, buy my soap. Like people don't want to see that. You have to make the content relatable, and unfortunately, we can all relate to getting the work done. We can all relate to putting in work to do the marketing to get the final product. One of the things that like with Trish, we said put the before and the after. So that works really well because you're seeing the transition, right? And then put like quotes, put facts. Like there's so much content that you can put out there that it doesn't have to be selfies. It doesn't have to be you dancing. It doesn't have to be you talking. Like let the work do the talking for you if you're not comfortable talking, and then eventually get yourself out there. But it starts, if you want to start with baby steps, that's okay, but start.
Right. Essentially, you're storytelling, right? You're
Right.
telling the story in the process of it, which is super important. And like, you know, Hippie Girl, your natural products. So even just watering your garden is content, right? Or making dried flowers is content. Like honestly, anything, any process, all the process that you have to do to complete your job is content. And dissect that process. You know, you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to start this day. Boom, there's a post. You post a picture of the dark sky and say it's time to make the donuts. You know what I mean? Like that's content right there. It like I said, just don't overthink it. You know, just do it. Not everything's gonna be a masterpiece, but it's part of the story.
And that's better. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Like that's the best part of it. And that's what it explains to you. Not every post has to get 1 million or 1,000 or 100 likes. Like some post is just content leading up to, you know, you building your brand and you branding yourself as an expert in your field.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay. And do we have anybody else here that would like to say something like in regards to their business, or what limitations you're giving yourself as far as marketing that Annie and I can help you with? And you know, one thing I want to add, if any of you want to come through, please unmute yourself and tell us a little bit, like give us some content for us to talk about here. But real quick, I started my business on a budget, and the only way for me to grow was to do social media. So I have never paid for like TV advertising. I think I've tried TV advertising once on Channel 44. I tried print. I tried everything. But like Annie said, like you have to have such a high budget that that's more for like bigger corporations. It wasn't for like my type of business that was a fairly small business running on a really small budget. So I started using social media more and more and more and more. And the social media is basically how I have started my businesses. And social media is where I kind of branded myself and put myself in the place that I'm at today. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for social media. So please don't underestimate the power of how far like these posts can take you, because they can do a lot for you. And I still think that if I didn't have to work as much sometimes and I could put more media out there, I would have more business.
I mean, 100%. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here for if it wasn't for social media either. You know. So I'm in marketing. I'm another sales girl in marketing who's selling the same things that all the other sales girls in marketing are selling, right? But because I'm Annie with Annie's Adventures on Facebook and Instagram, I have that credibility and I stand out a little differently than all the others because I show that I understand how it fully works, right? I walk the walk and all that stuff as far as social media goes. So don't underestimate it. It's super important. And if you're not on it, you're truly missing the boat because we're not going back. Okay. Like there is no going back. It's only going to keep advancing. And just like you were saying with the reels coming from TikTok, like Facebook is not going anywhere. Like don't even think for 1 second that platform is going anywhere, right? I believe in Facebook so much that I even have stock in it. Like what I like about it is that the Zuck, he looks in the future. You know what I mean? He has plans for the future. It's not just what's happening right here and now. And he's always working to update these platforms to keep them interesting and on top of all the other platforms, right? So you always need to evolve with these platforms. But you just have to start being on them, and it's baby steps, whether you want to just start with 1 post a week or 3 a week, but eventually gain up to 1 a day at least. Start working your stories. Everything is content, okay? And if you have questions,
Everything is content.
And content is king, okay? Just you're one in a field of however many in your field, and you want to stand out more than that other person, right? And just by doing a live feed video, you may just be doing that, climbing the ladder and showing the roof, you know what I mean? Or showing how you guys do free estimates, you know what I mean? That's important to people, and that will keep them coming to you. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear them. If I can help you in any way, or later on, if you think of something, again, it's Annie's Adventures on Facebook and Instagram. Reach out to me. I'm here to help.
Thank you. I have a question, guys. Sorry, I'm super late, and but for us, up until this year, everything has been social media. This is the first time we're actually looking at doing some commercials, and this is 5 years into the game. And so,
congratulations.
Thanks. So totally feeling what you guys are saying, and really was inspired by the book. But one of the things that they talked about in the book was Snapchat. And I'm just curious, is Snapchat still a relevant platform? And is it something that we should be spending time in getting a Snapchat account and stuff?
I would say yes. It's still around, especially with the younger kids, 18 and in the 20s. It doesn't hurt it's another platform to talk to people, and it's free. It doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? I would just say, yes, do it. The answer will always just be yes, just try it, like be on LinkedIn. Like right now,
it does talk on the book. It tells you not to let Snapchat like fool you. Like it's actually a huge platform, and it has
right. No, he kept talking about it. Oh, sorry, Michelle. I was super impressed, but I was just curious because the book is a couple years old. So I wasn't
Right.
sure.
Oh, for that. I still think it's relevant. I do notice I don't do a lot of like Snapchat myself, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, like I haven't done Snapchat in a while. And I do know that I have followers that are on Snapchat. Like they'll message back and stuff, but I prefer like for me personally and mine, I prefer like the open messages and like the likes and all that because I feel like Snapchat is more like secretive. But there is a huge platform on there, and if you learn how to use it, you can have like there's a way where you can show everybody in El Paso like your story. So if I have like a map and I want to see what's going on in Central, I can actually click on people's stories that I don't follow and kind of see what's going on. So Snapchat has like some really cool features that definitely do help with marketing. I think especially when you're doing events, it's nice to have Snapchat because like I said, because of your location, the people that are there, they can view it so they see your content. And that's my experience so far with Snapchat and how I use it and the features that I like as far as business. I think those would go good with like the entertainment world. Definitely for your people, Eric.
Oh, for
Awesome.
sure.
Thank you guys.
I honestly even tell everybody, get on LinkedIn. That is the most undervalued platform out there right now. And honestly, all these platforms these ads are super cheap compared to traditional marketing, and don't ever think that social media is the end all be all, because it's not. Just like you said, Eric, like you're always going to have to step it up and take it up a notch, right? Depending on how far you want to go with this thing. Like, for example, we have Wing Daddies is our largest client at Leo Marketing. They started with the one location with us. And their marketing budget was not what their marketing budget is now when they started with us, right? But over time, your marketing budget is supposed to grow. So we handle all their locations all over Texas, Mexico, and New Mexico. Right here out of El Paso, which is really cool because if you want to grow outside of El Paso, if you have an audience in Alamogordo or Albuquerque, or like you can do that through these mediums, which is completely awesome, and not be just kind of we're shooting more with a rifle than a shotgun. Does that make sense, guys? When we're targeting, when we're doing our ads on social media, because like I said, on traditional marketing like TV, radio, billboard, print, we're throwing our ad in a pool and hoping and praying that's a small percentage of people that need us will see us and then utilize us. We're on social media, 100% of the people we're targeting are our audience. Everyone else can kick rocks. Like we don't want to talk to 50-year-olds. We don't have to talk to 50-year-olds. If we don't want to talk to, I don't know, whatever it is, like we can be very specific in our targeting. But yeah, it's not the end all be all. You always want to increase your marketing budget depending on how much you want to grow, and add on to that. So the fact that you're adding, I think you said TV or radio, is really cool. I would recommend YouTube for you, Eric. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Snap. Honestly, you should be on them all. You should even be on TikTok. Like you could do TikToks in your all studios.
I know.
We were just talking about TikTok. We are literally just talking about it last week. So I appreciated this book. And again, Michelle, I love what you're doing. And Annie, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. But yeah, we're going to get on TikTok. And now, because you brilliant women just said that we should be on Snapchat, we will get on Snapchat as well. And LinkedIn, because I don't think we're on LinkedIn either. So
doesn't hurt,
that's good to know. Very good to know.
So at least just be there. It gives you presence. Even if you're not active, at least create your profile for now so that you're on there. But Eric, you're going to be here for the Full Moon Bash. Annie's going to be here for the Full Moon Bash. So you guys will actually get to meet each other. Maybe we can make like a TikTok of Eric while he's playing. We can pop his cherry.
That'd be cool.
I'm looking forward to it. That will be fun.
I'm looking forward to it too. We have reached our limit for the book club, but at this moment, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Time definitely flies when we're having these discussions. We're already in an hour and a half. So
Wow.
thank you all for joining us. Thank you for reading the books, and thank you, having a discussion with other people in regards to these topics definitely helps us grow. So even if you're just listening, I appreciate it. If you're engaging with us, I appreciate it. And most of all, I'm grateful that you all are keeping me on my toes about reading these books. I love reading, and I've never pushed myself to read so much, but I'm definitely happy. I'm loving it, and I'm growing. I hope it's providing you with the same value as well. Annie, I think you'll be meeting almost everybody for the full moon bash. I hope Trish can.
Awesome.
I hope Trish
Awesome.
can join us for the full moon bash. Will you be here, Trish?
I'm going to try my very best. It's on my calendar.
Oh, yay! I hope so. I'll introduce all of you guys if we can make it. If not, we'll definitely find another time because these are great connections for you all to have. I think Trish would actually do great also in these adventures because so many people are looking. Everybody's a hot mess, girl. We're all a hot mess, and we just need to call Trish to be like, if my desk is clean, I'm no longer a hot mess.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm like, I just cleaned my house, so I complete like there's a whole like aura and vibe that comes along with being organized and clean. Like I can take on the freaking world right now, you know? And
Yeah.
I was in a couple days ago like, with all the clutter and stuff before my garage sale. So I completely understand that. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Michelle, for the invite. It was awesome to hang out with you guys and talk to you guys, have a discussion with y'all. I'm here to help genuinely. If you need anything, please contact me at Annie's Adventures on Facebook and Instagram. That's what I'm here for. Okay, guys?
I'll send you guys her profile on Instagram. Actually, we have Trish. Trish is gonna be presenting one of our books very soon. It's gonna come up in June. Trish, do you want to introduce your book really quick?
Of course. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you, Andy. I'm Trish. I'm a professional organizer, and I have selected 1 year to an Organized Life by Regina Leeds. She is a veteran professional organizer, 30 years in the game. And honestly, I'm learning a lot. This will be my first time going through the book, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of what I'm learning with you guys.
She's very right. It's so important to be organized, and I'm looking forward to reading this book with her as well. Jess, are you, I think Jessica was working, but we have Jessica here as well, and she's gonna have a book coming up in June. Can you introduce the book, Jess?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Awesome. So actually, Michelle, I don't know which one I had committed to. I kind of jumped the gun and got so excited about being able to present again. So I actually have two in mind, and maybe you guys can give Michelle some feedback and see which one you guys wanted to go over. I have two. One is The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. And it's really just about the 5 different kind of personalities that make up businesses or like teams. It's kind of a follow-up to Tribal Leadership that I presented on a few months ago, and kind of dives into like personality types. And then I have another one. It's called The Why Cafe, which is really, I think, where my heart is singing and wanting to share with you all. It's a really small, quick read. I hope everybody will be able to finish it. And it's really about just what's our why? Why do we get up every day and do what we do? Why are we saying, when I retire, I'm going to travel. When I retire, I'm going to paint. I'm going to spend more time with my kids. Well, your kids aren't going to be kids when you retire. So just those are the two that I'm leaning towards. I haven't nailed it down yet. I'm so sorry. I just got so excited about our community and doing what we do. that I think I might
That's
have.
awesome. The book that you had on tribal leadership has actually helped me a lot, so much that I've instilled those same values on my son because he's the captain of the football team. So I told him about the five, the five numbers and the percentages and how you can only move somebody up from one point. And he was like, it helped me a lot. He thought, because when guys say that they suck, then he knows where that's different than like the game sucks.
Right.
So he started understanding them a little bit different. So I want you to know that these values go further than just us. Like they go to like the people that we know, and they go and benefit others. And thank you, Annie, for coming by. And I hope we'll have the list mailed out to you all soon. Thank you all for participating. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.